Well, I'm sitting at 36th Street, that one, and 32 Avenue, northeast, I think. So just got some free coffee because I have enough points on my Starbucks app. Now check out this iPhone 16 Max. It has 5 plus, 2 magnification, then 1, and 0.5. Just perfect for, when you do a selfie video. So I got up today, decided, did my books for January. Man, I have too much income again, like self-employed income, where it's hard to deal with expenses because I'm using personal vehicles, So I did 1,500, including the tax, GST, with Uber and Lyft. And so after I deducted the GST that I have to pay to the government, I think I made like 1,400 roughly. About $100 on DoorDash, food delivery, and 700 with rentals, because I had one guest in January, so it was like 660, and then he was late returning the vehicle. I complained and they paid me extra $40, so 700 from that. Imagine one trip, whereas here with Uber and Lyft I do like a couple of hours pretty much, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then all Saturday if I don't work at my main job, and then Sunday from lunchtime till late afternoon, and it's still $1,400 or minus gas. And I think I spent about $450 on gas. So basically net income, because gas is the biggest expense, with Uber and Lyft was $1,000, which doesn't sound too bad. But again, compare that to that rental where I didn't have to do anything except I had to clean the car and fill it up, but then the guy brings it back fully fueled, and I made $700. So it's definitely more advantageous to do rentals. So I cannot wait till May, because in May they said it's gonna take about a month to fix this Jeep Compass I'm in right now, to fix the hail damage, and definitely right after that I'm gonna list it with the rental company. So I'm gonna have 2 vehicles, and so summer, and then whatever somebody takes, I'll drive the other one to work and for Uber. And if for some reason both vehicles are taken, I'll just ride my bicycle to work, because I'm only 7 clicks or 4.5 miles away, so it takes like half an hour riding slow on a bike. I'm talking about summer, right? But I'm still concerned about the summer, because all this hail damage, it's very typical. Like these big hailstorms are typical in Calgary in July, August, and I still have not figured out a way to protect both of my vehicles. Except I did see something on Amazon. There's like a special reinforced cover, kind of like a tarp, like a car cover, right, that you use to protect it from dust, except this one has a very thick underlining. So I don't know if these work or not. So if anybody knows about any kind of way, which is not too expensive, of course the best way would be just to get rent a garage, like maybe a 2-car garage somewhere within walking distance from my apartment. But that would add probably $400 or $500 at least monthly. And unfortunately, see, that's the problem when you live in a condo. because I own only the space inside the walls. Like if this was a house, right, I would just actually I'm not sure if that's allowed or not, but I could have bought one of those temporary garages, like quick erect garage, like basically like a tent. And I'm pretty sure you can get a tent like reinforced for hail. So let's say for some reason I have a house but I don't have a garage, right? Or maybe I'm renting the garage as an apartment to some student from Nigeria, Then I could have gotten one of these tents with some kind of cover. But yeah, so this summer I'll have to watch the weather reports, because that's what I failed to do last time. But there was very little warning. I think we get like maybe 15-minute warning. But knowing what I know now, I could have stuck this Jeep in the entrance of the underground parking because the hail was coming from the west, from the mountains. And so if pretty much the entire vehicle would be covered under that lip, kind of like there's like a canopy, when you enter the underground parking. Of course, I cannot enter. I don't have an assigned parking space for my apartment underground, even though we do have underground parking. But I could have did the same what I did before, except I chose the east side entrance. And so since the wind was coming from the west, I did not protect the vehicle because it was coming at an angle. But now I would go to the west entrance so that the protection is from the west, like there's a building above me. It would cover pretty much the entire vehicle, probably all the way to the rear hatch, So if anything, the damage would be minimal. But some people were reporting good luck even with some, like not a plywood, but what do you call it? Just like thick paper, like they make boxes out of, right? That perforated thing. Even something like that would help, protect it. But it's definitely a danger here in Calgary. And something's happening with Uber and Lyft. So I started both apps when I was at home. So cleaned up the mats before and made sure the car is clean. Like one issue with this Compass is this. You see how much dirt I have over here? Because it's recessed, like you're sitting low, right? And so the same thing happens over there. Like for some reason, it's super difficult for people to get out of the vehicle without sliding their feet, their shoes over that, little hill in there. And so it's always dirty, always covered in dirt. I might need to come up with some creative solution because I'm tired of cleaning every time. So the floor mats are dirty, okay, they're easy to clean. But that thing is, especially in cold, that dirt gets stuck to that side over there. Yeah, see, it's that part over there. Yeah, see, I had one passenger, and already there's markings there. Actually, no, that's from the previous people, because I think when I was cleaning it up, I did not clean it all the way because, again, the dirt was, stuck. The car was very cold. And so I picked up one passenger 1 kilometer away from my home, a lady, and she was going 12 kilometers south on this pretty much Métis Trail or 36th Street, like straight down to the hospital. And actually she was moving very slow, like a young woman, but she was moving very slowly, couldn't close the door. Like a lot of people in this Jeep, for some reason, they have issues closing the door. They cannot close it properly. Like she closes, but too soft. I see the red light is on, the door is open, and my lights in the ceiling are on. So I asked her, could you please slam the door a bit harder? So she opens it, does it again. Again, it's too soft. the red light is on. Then I think it took her like 3 times. Eventually she she closed it. And so I took her to the hospital, and when she was getting out, she remembered to slam the door a bit harder. And I clicked the brake button, and I went because I know this area, because this is where my used to be my favorite dealer, Chrysler dealer, East Side Dodge. That's where I bought the Hellcat. That's where I got this Jeep. But then when I went there to get the Durango, they wanted like $75,000. And so I said, I'm sorry guys, this is not gonna work. And so I found a deal, what was it, 75 or 72? But yeah, they wanted too much money for the Durango with a 5.7 liter Hemi. And so I went to that South Trail Chrysler. But so I know this area because I used to spend a lot of time here. When I bring a car for oil change or something, I know the Starbucks. I know there's a shawarma place over here. And so when I dropped off the lady, I said, hey, I know this area. So I clicked the pause button on the Uber, and I went through the drive-through. And when I opened my Starbucks app, I see that I have 215 points. Anything over 200, you get a free drink. And I said, can I get a grande Americano? I said, I'll use my points. And the guy says, you want to switch it up to venti, like a bigger size, since it's free? I said, yeah, sure. And then I saw this Shell over here, and I was getting low on gas, so I spent about $60 getting 42 liters, I think. So the price was, I think it was like $1.55 per liter. And that's it. And after that, I resumed the app. So now I have Lyft and Uber on, looking for rides, nothing. I've been here like half an hour probably. Watch some movies on YouTube, listen to some news on my satellite radio. And yeah, it's funny what's happening in the States. It's like every day somebody gets fired, right? Now, the last thing I don't really understand why. Remember that big crash that was in Washington D.C. with between the military helicopter and the airplane, and everybody knows that these dispatchers, ATC, what they call air traffic controllers, are overworked, and there's a short supply because it's a bad job, too much stress. And now lots of these guys got fired yesterday by Trump. I don't know. Just now, as we are getting towards the warmer weather and a busier season for flights, just one example. So basically, the American government is being dismantled. And of course, here we have our own little problems. Like our Prime Minister Trudeau is on the way out because he declared that he's leaving the office. And so now we're basically nobody's in power. He quit right when Trump took office, which everybody says was a stinking bad timing. So yeah, and yesterday or Friday, we had Flag Day holiday. So they're saying that Canadian flags are now in big demand because people started feeling much more patriotic than before after all these tariff threats and annexation threats. So everybody's buying flags. And that's it. So I just took my T-Trail north, and I kept both apps running, Lyft and Uber, and I thought, okay, if I don't get a ride offer before I hit home, I'm going home. So I came to this retail plaza here, get some beer, and I see that my area shows the earning potential is just $1 sign. So medium is 3, high is 4. Like when you see $4 signs for this area on the app, that's when it's busy. And so this is $1 sign all the way until like 8 p.m. And I checked the airport. This airport is 5 minutes away. I can go there, but you know, sitting in a car, and it's very cold today. In the morning we had minus 28. Now it's minus 22, you know. It feels cold. But the sky is clear, the sky is blue. And by the way, why I'm off today is because we have in Canada, it's called Family Day. We're having a holiday, and just for once, normally the place where I work, they always open, even during holidays, you know. But this time, for some reason, Family Day, they decided to close shop, and so last time I worked was Friday, and then Saturday I was off, Sunday I was off, and now I'm off. I'm off Monday. And that's what my area looks like. See lots of snow everywhere. People are all bundled up. You know? So yeah, it's not good. Not a good weather to be outside in, you know. So yeah, so might as well go home, watch some TV, watch some news, and I have a bunch of dumplings in the freezer. You know, Chinese dumplings. Gonna cook some of those, and then I have to do this video. And I was taking a break. Last time I played my accordion, I think it was like 3 days ago. So gonna catch up on some exercises. So that's the plan for today. But at least the Jeep is fully fueled now, ready for next week. And my Durango is somewhere. I had to remove the air tag because that's the policy of this rental company now. They said as of January 1st, air tags cannot be used inside the rental vehicle because of privacy, you know, issues, which I don't agree with, but I removed it. So now I have no idea where the guy is, but I should get it in one piece on March 5th. Wow. So now I have only one vehicle, and at least I can use my parking spot, right? Because before I was parking my Durango here in front of the apartment, and I had to park the Jeep on the street. But now it's back to the status quo where I can park 2 meters away from my entrance door. It's not easy to. It's too tight in here. So yeah, that's what's not good for January. Was in general it was slow for Uber, but see, I still made $1,000 extra after fuel. But again, I talked to one guy, I think I mentioned this, I talked to one guy who's doing it full time, and he said he was doing like 300-400 kilometers a day, but only made like $200. So it's definitely not good, and not a good gig as a full-time employment. But as part-time, I think it's great. It really helps me out, you know, with bills. And I like meeting people. I'm a sociable guy. You know, I like talking to people. Sometimes you meet quite a few, you know, interesting characters. So I'm definitely going to continue doing this again on a part-time basis. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just waiting for the summer when I can make good money from rentals, because in the summer Durango will be the rate. I checked on the website, they already show you up ahead what they're going to charge. So in the summer it's going to be like $250 a day, whereas now it's $100 a day. and so I'm keeping 75%. And then for the Jeep, it's probably going to be less because it's I can only take 4 passengers, so it's a regular vehicle, but it's an SUV 4x4, and it's 2023. And by the way, some people mentioned that issues. No, like the issue with the battery, they had to replace the batteries on this. I'm pretty sure it's because of that start and go. You know, I hate this feature. Like when you come to a stop at the lights, the engine shuts down and then it restarts. So I'm pretty sure it's not very good for the battery, you know. And I saw that red symbol, low battery charge, a couple of times. So I think that's what killed the battery, but at least I got lucky that it was changed under the warranty. But I had some issues with the display, where the display would go black, but then there was a recall on this, and they updated the software and the issue disappeared. So, you know, to touch wood, I'm quite happy with this vehicle so far, you know. And it's right now I have 38,931 kilometers, and believe it or not, that's the highest mileage I've ever reached in my personal vehicles. Usually I trade them in, you know, fast. And, you know, when I was a trucker, I'm on the road all the time, right? So in my semi truck, so I always had very low mileage on my cars when I trade them in. Even like after, let's say, 3-4 years, I would trade them in. But the last one where I had the highest mileage was Dodge Charger, because I went on that road trip across US when I sold my semi-truck, right? I have a bunch of videos about this. And so that one, when I traded that one in for the Hellcat, it had about 24,000 kilometers. And then the Hellcat, I was afraid to drive it. I thought the value would just drop, and so I think when I sold it, I only had like 3,000 kilometers on it. Should have kept it and rented out, you know. It was a great vehicle, but it's only 2-door. I wouldn't be able to do Uber, you know. And so yeah, now this one is the highest mileage so far, but it keeps going. Everything works fine, no issues. Well, I'm at home now. Just wanted to show you guys the progress with my Mossberg MVP Patrol 556. So these are the little mods I did. So I did this little thing. It was super hard to install because it's very tight. Got it on Amazon with some like there's a rubber little, you know, thing to increase the height, but because the rifle is so small, I wasn't able to install the red dot far enough for me to use my left eye, which is dominant, whereas on the on Charles Daly, because it's longer, I can actually use my left eye, but here I'll have to use my right eye. But that's how it's installed. So all I have to do is just install the battery, but for now I didn't install it yet. But so next, and as you can see, it's empty, it's locked, there's no bolt, so it's all safe. And next weekend we're gonna have +7 or +9 Celsius, like 50 F, whereas now it was crazy cold. So I'm watching some videos now on how to zero the red dot, and the manual says that they zeroed it at 0, whatever that means. I don't know, but anyway, I'm gonna go to the public land, bring some jugs of you know, pop, maybe some other fun stuff, bring my folding table, and of course I'm gonna bring my Charles Daly shotgun as well, because, you know, these things, they get hot, right? But this is a real gun, so cost me what, $1,100 I think, with the shipping, including the red dot. and I got it at the online store in Ontario, Canada. And it was shipped here, like a beautiful gun, and it was very small, but you know, does the job. The only thing I don't like is the mag, and this thing actually takes AR-15 mags. The mag they sent you is good for 10 rounds, but for some stupid reason they put a dent in there to limit it to 5 rounds, which is not the requirement in Canada, because in Canada a bolt action rifle like this one is not limited to how many rounds you can have in the mag. It's only semi-auto firearms are limited to 5, but this is bolt action. So I was actually looking online, so I can buy the same mag. The same mag I can get for like 35 bucks Canadian, and it's fully open. Let me show you one second. Yeah, so this is the mag that came with this, and you see here they put these notches over here to prevent full loading, but this is a kind of like a very cheap looking, but you know, I tried loading cartridges in here. It worked, made in the USA, but I just don't like that, you know, they sell a gun in Canada where it's not limited, so why would you do this, you know, stupid thing. But this, yeah, exactly this one I can buy for like 35 bucks online. But for now I think I'm good, because with my previous Ruger, I found it was actually, you know, you take your time, there's no rush, so you just put the empty mag in, and then you just, you know, you feed the cartridges one by one, you know, and you just put this in so that the cartridges don't fall down, right? Because there's an opening here, right? But so I don't think I really need one the bigger mag unless Trump attempts to invade Canada. Then all the bets are off. But I'm ready. I have plenty of ammo. The only thing I don't have as a Canadian patriot, I don't have a Canadian flag. But I live in a condo. I cannot just mount a flag outside, because right away they would tell me to tear it down, because that's common property. And that's the issue. Like I mentioned before, you know, when you live in a condo apartment instead of a house, so you don't have a say in what you put up outside. But yeah, so very happy with this one, with the looks. With this, it came with this muzzle brake, and these are also like very nice sights. See, like over here. But I always install red dot. I love red dot, and it's the same brand, Holosun. And this came with the Picatinny rail already, so I didn't have to install it myself. So I think it's a good deal, you know, very nice purchase. So now I have one small scout rifle with very cheap ammo, 5.56 NATO, and I have a Charles Daly 12 gauge semi-auto shotgun. So that one is limited to 5+1. Basically, you can load 5 cartridges plus 1 in the chamber. So cool.